we have some comments. We have people asking about Fed share, and
Yeah,
yeah, we should probably
the
talk about
never
Waller.
ending, the never ending Fed chair story, right? So let's see what's going on. 47, 39, 7, 3. People started punting Judy Shelton again, even though Trump said it's going to be a he. But yeah, Judy Shelton, man, people just love buying Judy Shelton for some reason. Yeah, what's going on with Fed chair? Not much really. There was a story on Friday, I think.
Wow, Rieder's dumped quite a bit, huh? He was at like
Yeah, yeah,
60.
yeah. He's gone down quite a bit. Yeah, it's interesting. So Friday, Bloomberg published a story. There was first a FT story about Rieder. It wasn't that substantial. It basically said, well, he's not really a Democrat, but he's donated to Democrat, but he's kind of pragmatic, so he's not tied to any party. Um, but then Bloomberg published what I thought was a fairly substantial story, and saying that basically Trump liked him. No surprise there for me. Also, Trump apparently it didn't mention Trump, but people again like that he's not within the Fed, and I think it specifically mentioned Trump, that he liked that Reader has new ideas for the Fed. It was also interesting that they mentioned that apparently he looks the part, which I think is not the
I
case
don't
at
understand
all.
what that means. Yeah, I don't think he does.
Yeah, he looks like a big boy, asset manager, what he is. So again, I'm surprised. I was surprised by that, but I took it fairly seriously. What is basically the only, oh yeah, one other interesting um, piece of information there was that apparently in Davos they were asking around around whatever investors, executives, what they think. They were kind of taking the temperature, and people were positive, or like they got good responses. So it was mostly good. The only bad thing was that basically Trump isn't sure that what Reader promises him now, rate cuts, is what Reader will do when he's in. And
Yeah,
this ties in with his comments about, they say one thing when I talk to them, but then when they're in, they do another thing, which I initially took as a comment. I wasn't thinking about Reader when he said that. I was thinking about Warsh, because this fits, in my opinion, Warsh much more. Reader is pretty dovish when you look up, and people started looking up his stuff, what he talked about on X. He's kind of an MMT guy, so like a very he likes to I want to say he likes to print money, but he would be very loose with monetary policy. If the board follows him, there's a different question. So anyway, we got this big pump based off. So the FT story was, I think, so this is Friday, right? Nothing really happened here. So this was the FT story, but then when Bloomberg broke, then it went up for what, a good 15 cents or so. And then actually on Saturday, wait, January, yeah, that's Saturday, pumped even more to 60, and then it dumped again, and then someone puked here. Here wasn't actually traded, but I think it was traded around 40, and now we're kind of just below 50. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I,
What do you
I
think?
think I honestly think that there's a small chance. I still think like Waller's pumped a little bit. He was at like 8 cents. I think that was undervalued. The strategy I think kind of seems to be just fading the big pumps in this market. Like any, I don't think Trump really knows still what he's going to do. I don't think that the market is going to know even any better than that. Yeah, in general, I also think that he will probably try to delay the announcement quite a bit. He's been delaying it for a while, and I think he'll continue to do that. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure that like January announcement is still, what is it, 76 cents? It's pretty
I
high.
think
I don't know. I feel like
what day? Wait, there was a better
no, not
one.
so much. January 31st
Um,
is 67 cents.
oh, yeah, it's
That
probably.
seems kind of high to me, honestly. For yes, I think. I mean, every single time he said, "Oh, I'm going to announce it. I'm going to announce it." Yeah, he hasn't. And he can wait
Yeah.
probably till March is. I think he'll probably wait until middle of March if he can. Doesn't.
No, I'm not so sure about that. I
Why do you
think
think he'll announce it sooner?
so basically this market is basically 2.5 days. This is this market
Yeah,
prices FOM after everything, like the period after FOMC, because he won't announce before FOMC.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, he could if he really wants to piss in Powell's soup, but nothing is going to FOMC is going to be a nothing burger because they always are. Nothing's going to happen there, and then that he. I always said that he was going to announce when they hold for the first time, but now the hold isn't really contentious. So the only interesting thing about Wednesday is really whether Waller will dissent or not. I expect him not to dissent. I think he's the only honest
Interesting.
among the candidates there. That's why he's probably not going to get it. But I think they're still waiting for that. And then after that, you basically have 2 days, right? So you have rest of Wednesday and then 2 days for Trump to announce. He's not going to announce on the weekend because it's his guy. It's going to be good. He wants to pump the market, so this is a weekday announcement. Mm, I think I wouldn't get in here now anymore, but I bought. No, I think I have this on Kalshi actually. I bought like 20 cents or something. It's just a small bag.
But that's a good price then, yeah. Definitely
Yeah,
in there.
I'm going to write it out. I don't think
Do
though
you
he will wait much more. Like I think it's going to happen fairly soon.
Interesting. Do you think if Waller dissents that would increase or decrease his odds?
Well, yeah, so I saw the question. Someone asked what I think about Waller. Well, am I happy with look, if the story broke on Friday, I was in the gym on Friday and I was thinking, you know what? Today is a good day to pump a favorite for Fed chair. Today is a good day to float a story and take the temperature and see what the market thinks. And had the story been about Waller, would I be bullish? Fuck yeah, I will be bullish. So now that it's about Rieder, I can't say that I'm really bullish because everything in the story, nothing was really about Waller. There was like the thing about that they appreciate that he's not at the Fed, or that he has no Fed experience, rather. So this also excludes Warsh. There was the Wall Street bona fides, which Waller doesn't have. Warsh doesn't really have so much either, but definitely more than Waller. Looking the part, I mean, well, okay, yeah, Waller looks the part, but maybe not what Trump is looking for. So nothing really, nothing, in there says, well, if I don't take this guy, then I'm going to take Waller because it would be almost the exact opposite. So am I bullish? No, I'm absolutely not bullish. But my thesis hasn't changed. Something has to happen for Waller for his shares to rise, for his narrative to
Yeah.
be picked up. There needs to be he needs to get on Fox News. Is the dissent going to be enough? Yeah, I don't know. Nah, I don't think so. First of all, I don't think he's going to dissent. I think he's an honest person. That's why he's probably not going to get it because it's an administration full of dishonest people, to say the least. So he would need to be a bit more vocal, but I don't think the dissent is the right way to do it. He would need to come on Fox News more. He would need especially someone else to come on Fox News and say Christopher Waller is a great guy, and he would need his narrative to be picked up more. So like labor market not looking so great. I think next week we get some labor market data, but the last few bits of data were actually okay. Um, so yeah, I'm still holding. I mean, you can still buy. Like the longer it takes, the better it is per Waller. Like it can't be worse. Like how much more? It can literally only go
Yeah.
from 9 to 0, right? And
Yeah.
he's the only guy that hasn't pumped in a while. So how much does it take to pump him? I kid you not. I was thinking about just like staging a pump here, like buying a bit out of his book, like buying 20, 30K, and then start seeing if I can start a narrative because apparently that's what you can just do on these markets. I mean, all
Yeah.
these markets, they're not that liquid. Look at like Rieder now is fairly liquid. Someone put up a bunch of shares here. But like Warsh, for example, this is not a super liquid market. I mean, how much space is there to 70 cents? It's 15K. You can move the market with 15K.
Yeah.
It's
And if you move the market, it'll be in the news as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is where you can actually I was really thinking about it, but I didn't want to throw even more money at this. Like, oh my God, Crystal, someone is going to pick it up. This is how it started with the Reader.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Rick Reader's shares on Polymarket are pumping. What is going on? So this is just how you fabricate things. So yeah, he needs something like this. If someone is out there has a bunch of money, I mean, I have a bunch of money, but look, like I gave you guys the thesis. You have to help me out here. Maybe we can pump them all together. I'm going to chip in. If something like this happens, yeah, he could come back, but he's definitely, I wouldn't expect it to happen. It's my fair value has gone down quite a bit, so it should be 15, maybe 20 at best, not more.
The last question on the Fed, I guess two more. First, Hassett seems pretty overpriced at 7 cents. I think Trump has been pretty clear it's not going to be him. Um,
Yeah, same
especially
thing. I
especially if he's
mean,
going to announce in March this is a decent bond, or if he's going to announce in
people,
January it's a decent bond.
I mean, people just want to gamble, right? So
Yeah,
it was 5 here, and then if you zoom in a bit, went up. Can it go up again? Can it double from here? Yeah, but it's like a shitcoin, which doubles.
it doesn't make
I
sense. Yeah,
don't think it's going to be asset. No, I mean, if it's if he
I know.
wanted to nominate asset, which he wanted to nominate asset, he would have done it by now. What's going to happen that he nominates Hassett now after discrediting him himself? It doesn't make sense to me. So,
And I feel like we've
but would have
already
done
been quite
this? No,
clear
I
that he's
wouldn't.
disqualified.
Too dangerous. No.
And then also, last question: do you think that Rick Rieder is going to? Do you think that Rick Rieder has a name branding issue with the Dick Ryder nickname?
I think this is
It's
a
very important.
pure X fantasy. Someone I don't know whether I saw it on X or in the toxic comment section here. So this is the first and only time we're going to dive into the comment section. No, it must have been X. Someone said, I read it somewhere, that Rick Reader is that his name isn't really what Trump likes.
Yeah,
Not because of Dick Ryder, but because it like doesn't sound so nice or whatever. And because Trump has this like name thing, right? Which Domer also talked about. That's why he bought, I think, Vance.
yeah.
Nah, I don't really see it. What I can see, I guess, why the price came in a bit again, is that he has no party affiliation. He would be a sort of a cold hire. And the last time, so this is my point, the last time Trump hired someone just from the industry who was sort of an independent, I think there was Rex Tillerson in 2017, like this, I think it was at Exxon, right? Exxon guy. Trump hired him for, what was he doing? Secretary of State or something. He stayed on 6 months and then he left, or Trump fired him. So does he do it again for Fed chair? I think Scott Bessent likes Rick Reader. Whether Trump likes Rick Reader that much, I'm not sure. I think Scott Bessent likes Rick Reader. Scott Bessent also likes Warsh. Scott Bessent could probably work with Waller, but this is not his preferred option. And there's also this narrative out that Trump will pick none of the above. And someone said that here is but I don't see it. How you can bet someone that's not on the list? So it would be like none of the options here, right? But there are a bunch of other options. That there's this like number 5 narrative. So Trump will take none of the top 4 candidates. Besson doesn't want to, so it would be someone entirely different.
Sheep Token has asked thoughts on Jerome Too Late Powell being more bullish for Warsh. Warsh has had a much more emphasis on Fed tardiness, which has been his narrative.
So,
Uh,
why would too late be bullish for Warsh?
yeah, I don't. He says Warsh has had much more emphasis on Fed tardiness, which has been his narrative. I don't know about that. I think Warsh, especially at 30 cents, I don't think it's worth just that. I don't think that narrative is worth 30 cents. I feel like Warsh is more like 20 cents, maybe a little less.
Look,
Um,
what I think people overestimate is policy things, like what people were voting for or their stances or something. Like Warsh was hawkish in 2008. Mate, in 2008, I was, in some of the traders weren't even alive in 2008, almost, let's say. Or they were like pooping in their pants, and now they want to tell me, like 2008, Kevin Warsh was hawkish, and now he's going to be hawkish again. Man, if he gets the job, he will do everything Trump tells him to do. He will be Trump's biggest bitch. Trust me, what Kevin Warsh thought in 2008 or 2010, in my personal opinion, bears absolutely no, like this has nothing to do with what Kevin Warsh would do right now. Absolutely nothing. It's more of, in my opinion, it's more, does Kevin Warsh, the person, have the trust of Donald Trump, the person? Does he actually like Kevin Warsh? And this has been my point that apparently not. So why hasn't he nominated them? Like he's trying for the third time. He's been trying for months now. What is stopping Trump from nominating this guy who looks so good? He's his father-in-law is buddies with Trump. Why hasn't he nominated him? Maybe he still will. I'm not saying he won't. Actually, I think now is a probably decent buy for Kevin Warsh. But if he gets rejected, it's not because Kevin Warsh was hawkish, but because Donald Trump doesn't trust Kevin Warsh or doesn't like Kevin Warsh or something about him for whatever reason that we probably don't know. I think that's what's going to happen. So pick your fighter.
I have a small reader bag, but it's dumb today. I'm still going to be holding Waller. I hope. I imagine. Are you going to
I
hold? Are
also
you going
have
to hold
Waller,
him
man.
until 100-0?
I'm writing this to, I said I'm writing this to 0-100, and that's what I'm going to do. I kind of hope he descends. I don't think he will. I hope he descends and he comes out next week and tries to actually get the job, because I think this is what he should be
Yeah.
doing a little more. Like, come on, bro. Like, just go out there and say, like, I would be a good Fed chair, something like this. He's too honest. In my opinion, he's too nice. So
If he descends, the price will definitely pump. I think. Even
yeah, I
regardless of
think so.
whether or
Yeah.
not it actually increases his chances, it'll cause a decent pump. Should we move on to what's our next topic?
I think we have one more.